Would you please welcome Chef Peter Mollett?
Hi, how is everyone today? Thank God it's Friday, right? All those people here. First, I would like to say one thing. This is not the first year we've been here. We've been coming here, I don't know, 5, 6 years. And I just want to acknowledge Greg and his staff for putting this show on every year. They do a fantastic job. Without them, the Metroplex wouldn't have a show like this. So thanks, Greg and your staff. We really appreciate it in putting this all together. Let's give them a big hand on that. Okay, so today we've got a couple things on the menu that we're going to do. We're going to do pulled pork sliders, Cuban pulled pork recipe, and barbecue pulled pork recipe. Now what's really cool about this is our tagline for our company, Red Kitchen Foods and Smokin' Texas Gourmet, is making homemade happen. So we want to make it easy for you to go into your kitchen and make homemade happen the easy way. Now that being said, we pre-formulate. Again, he said I was a chemist. I pre-formulate all our seasonings, our sauces, our rubs, things of that nature. And I acid balance them so that they give you a lot of flavor without all the junk in it. So for instance, we're going to start out with a beverage. We're going to use our Vo2 beverage mixer. It's all natural, has, ladies, only 35 calories, all natural. No added sugars. It's got a little agave and hibiscus in it. So today we're actually sampling up back there at our booth, our Vo2 booth, and we're doing Vo2 Ritas. So that's like a margarita. And by the way, Vo2 stands for, can anyone give it a guess? Vodka, tequila, and whiskey. Okay, so it's good with all of those. So a Vo2 Rita is like a margarita, only it uses Vo2. I'm going to do this. See if I can get some ice in here. And we're going to kick this Vo2 Rita up a little notch. So we're going to put some Vo2 in here. Want to make sure I make enough for 2 or 3 glasses. Some lucky person out there might get some. And boy, this ice cube holder, it's not very good. I'm going to do this the easy way. Okay. We've got the glasses here ready. And I grilled some limes. Now a lot of you probably don't grill fruit, but it's fantastic. Limes and citrus have a lot of sugar in them, but they also have a lot of concentrated oil in the lime, like in lime juice or orange juice or grapefruit. So if you grill it for a few minutes, and you can see that I've grilled it here, it really brings out the flavor. Kind of like when you do nuts and you roast it to get the oils out of it, okay? It really enhances the flavor. We're going to put one of those in there. And all of these are my products except for the Coke and the tequila, okay? We will put some tequila in here. That's probably a good bit. And then we want to kick it up a notch. We're going to put a candied jalapeno in here, okay? We pickle these for 3 days, and then we candy them for 2 days. And it's really fantastic. That'll give it a little kick. We're going to use those on the sliders we're going to make too. Okay, we'll shake this up a little bit, real quick. And we'll pour this out. Yeah, I'm going to pour it out that way. I can get the lid out. Who would like to taste this and tell us what it tastes like? Oh, yeah, there's Scott.
All right. I think I can handle that.
You got those?
Yes, sir.
And I should probably taste it myself. Oh, there's a lady who's got her hand, two ladies. Remember, only 35 calories. So, cheers for coming out on a Friday. Okay. Anyone going to come here tomorrow? We got a big show tomorrow. Scott will tell you, oh, how is that? Like that? Not too sweet.
Anybody
Okay.
want to offer a review? Awesome. What's the review over here? The jalapeno you can taste. A thumbs up for the jalapeno. Chef.
Okay. Yeah, it just gives it a little extra kick. Makes it really good. We've got some recipes on the side panel of the Vo2. We got plenty of it in the booth. We'll probably sell out by midday Sunday. We really sell a lot of it. Okay, menu. We're going to do pork sliders. We're going to do it the easy way, though. Okay? We're going to use a pork shoulder, which we got right here. I'm going to show you how to season that. And then we're going to put it into a crock pot, okay? And this is for you ladies and for you men who don't want to tend to smoker all day long and anything like that. You'll put this on high, you let it go 10 hours, and you'll have great pork. So, let me show you what we do. And we're going to finish it off with caramelized onions and a little bit of candied jalapeno and some sweet heat barbecue sauce. So, can everyone see this pulled pork? Okay. You can't? Are we having a video issue? Oh, there we go. If you look at the video, that's why you couldn't see it. You were trying to watch it right here. Okay. So, we got a pork butt here. I took the bone out of it. Okay, a lot of people like to leave the bone in it. Actually, the bone marrow will give you a lot of flavor. Okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to season this with our dry rub. This is a special dry rub. It's got about 18 different ingredients in it. And normally what I do, I'll rub it really well, inside, outside, and you'll notice there's a fat cap on it. A lot of people will cut this fat cap off. I don't, because the fat has a lot of flavor. Now, you might say, I don't want all that fat in my pulled pork. Well, there's a way to get it out, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. Then we're going to put some garlic, salt, and pepper on it, and I use these two products for everything. This goes on everything that I cook. A lot of my customers cook because we sell primarily to the Marriotts, the Hiltons, people like that. We do have a little retail store and private label. So we're going to sprinkle this all over with the garlic, salt, and pepper. Normally what I like to do is wrap this in saran wrap, put it back in the fridge, and let it set for 24 hours. That way the salt and the ingredients of the dry rub will start working on breaking down that protein and adding a lot of flavor to it. Okay? So, now what makes this so easy? 2 ingredients go in here. Some sweet onion peach salsa. It's got good acidity to it, if I can get it open. And you can, if you want to make a Mexican pulled pork rather than a Cuban pulled pork, you can use a tomatilla salsa, which we also sell. So we're going to pour that in there. and a can of Coke. So in this case, I use Coke Zero because I don't want any added sugars. This has very low sugar in it, only the sugar from the peaches, from the fruit. So why am I putting this in there? Anyone want to hazard a guess?
Anybody got a guess?
What was that?
The acids,
Exactly.
Acids will break it down.
Exactly. We've got a lot of carbonic acid in here. Who's got a soda stream? Anyone got a soda stream? It's a little device. There's one. It's a little device that you can buy, and you can carbonate your own water or drinks. Essentially, what we've done here. Okay, we're adding acid to it. Okay. Now, we're going to take this pork and we're going to put it inside that crock pot. Mash it down in there. Can spoon some of it over. Now you're going to turn this on high and let it cook for 10 hours. Okay? I'm going to show you what you get in a minute. Before I show you what you get, I told you this is going to have caramelized onions on it. I've got a handy little tool here. Anybody know what this is? It's called a mandoline. Okay? You can slice, dice, but you have to be careful you don't do your fingers. But a lot of people try to cut onions real thin to caramelize them, and it's so difficult to do it with a knife. Restaurants and most of your professional chefs, they'll have a mandoline, and they'll slice it this way, and I'll show you how we do that. We'll go ahead and peel this onion. If you got a big party, one of these is really handy to have, and they don't cost much. And you'll notice, you can see it here, it's got a dial here. You can make the slices as big as you want. It's got a little dicer blade right here that you can have if you want to slice and at the same time dice it. It's got a serrated edge blade here that you can use for doing serrations of carrots and stuff. But we're going to make some little slices. Handy little gadget. It fits right on here so that you don't hurt your fingers. And you'll see, all you do is push it down. Come back up, push it down. And you can see the tiny little slices that you get. They're very thin. They're very consistent. I use this for making onion rings also. Okay? So what we want to do is we want to caramelize this. This is an organic herb oil that I make. I put the recipe on the table over there, but it's a combination of organic olive oil and avocado oil. Why avocado oil? Avocado oil has a fairly neutral taste to it. Anyone else know why? We might, Higher flash point. Actually a higher smoke point in this particular case. There's a difference between a smoke point and a flash point. And our chemist over here will know. A smoke point is that temperature at which your oil or your chemical, everything's chemicals, will start smoking. So if you put olive oil in a hot pan, it'll start smoking. Same way with vegetable oil, canola oil, stuff like that. Now, there's saturated and unsaturated. Okay? So saturated oils have higher smoke temperatures. In other words, they took, for for layman's, they took these molecules and it has single bonds, double bonds. They took all the double bonds out and made them all single bonds. Flash point, as the lady said, is that temperature at which that product will start flashing or ignite, catching fire. So if you have a kitchen fire with an oil or something else, it's because you've reached the flash point of that and it's gotten so hot that it flames, okay? So we're going to take a little bit of this organic herb oil, and you can see all the herbs in there. I'm sure all of you always have herbs that you use in your kitchen. What do you do with all those herbs that you don't use? And by the way, they're very expensive. You either throw them away or you put them back in the fridge and they get slimy. You end up tossing them. Well, what I do is I keep this at my stove in my kitchen, and every time I have extra herbs that I'm not using, I chop them up, throw them in here. It's got garlic in it, salt in it, garlic, salt, and pepper in it, peppercorns, things of that nature. So we're going to caramelize onions. Who knows what caramelization means? What's the chemical reaction that's happening? Anyone?
Anybody got a guess?
Sugar.
Very good.
Exactly. Sugar has a caramelization point, that point where it starts turning, like you're making taffy or something. You can go too far and burn it. So we're going to caramelize, and we're going to caramelize with a little savory oil. So we're going to put that here and let that heat up a little bit because we want it kind of hot. We'll do some more onions. For parties, I love using this because I can do about 10 onions in about 2 minutes. And that's what you have left, which you can toss. So we're going to take these onions and we're going to start heating them up and caramelizing them. You can see the steam coming off. They're getting nice and hot. Now, if I'm going to have caramelized onions with a nice fish or something of that nature, what I'll do is I'll put a little butter in with it at the end and let the butter brown a little bit with the onions. It really gives it a very rich flavor. Now, you heard me say everything I cook has the garlic, salt, and pepper in it. This is well balanced. It's actually got dehydrated garlic, kosher salt, and peppercorns, and we grind it together to give this kind of consistency. Amazing on tomatoes and vegetables, stuff like that. We are actually sampling it at the booth. You can sample it. So we're going to continue caramelizing this. You don't want to get too dry. So if it looks like it's starting to dry out a little bit, you can take some more of your organic herb oil. I found out about this at a cooking school in Mexico, Cabo San Lucas. And I got to know a chef there, and I went to his cooking school to learn how to do actually what I'm going to do tomorrow with Chef Sebastian in our Chemist and the Frenchman segment. I'm going to do a chicken salsa verde from scratch. And he had us start out by making the herb oil because everything he cooks, eggs, you name it, if it needs oil, he uses this instead of butter. Okay? So you can see this nicely caramelizing. We'll let that cook a little bit. Now, I want to show you what this pork looks like that we did. So this cooked for about 10 hours. It's still steaming a little bit. You can see it. Now this isn't the whole pork shoulder. I'm just using this to show you. We're going to serve the rest of it there. Now you can see it just falls apart. Okay. Does everyone know what a gravy separator is? Okay. What happens to oil when you put it in water? Anybody know? It floats to the top, right? That's why when you have an oil spill out in the ocean, okay, like that Exxon or whomever, it all floats on top. Everything gets coated. Well, same way with this pork that I cooked. All that fat cap that you saw, that's here, okay, all of that is going to release the oil from it. Now, a lot of people will leave it in. I don't. What I like to do is I like to take the juices out and put it into a gravy separator. Oh, it's really caramelizing nice. And what happens is all your nice juices that you get out of the pork and the seasonings will settle to the bottom of your gravy separator, and you pour it off, okay, and then you toss away the oil. You can keep a little bit of to put it in. Now, what are we going to do with this beautiful looking pork? We're going to pull it, chop it up. So I'm going to get rid of this over here. I'm going to grab some more gloves, put it here. We've got our caramelized onions done. I'll go ahead and turn that heat off. And you can see how they've really reduced down. Very nice. And we're going to take our pork, and you can use a fork or you can use a puller to pull it apart. I like to just pull it apart like this. And actually, I've got a bowl here. Pull it apart like that. It's hot. So what you have now is a Cuban pulled pork. So I've been doing this for about 20 minutes. That's how long it's going to take you to put sliders together this way. Now, we're going to here's some of that fat I was talking about from the fat cap. Okay, it'll come right off your pulled pork. Here's the pork, and actually, let's do something. Hey, Scott.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to put a little bit in this pot. Can you pass it around? Let some people taste it.
I think we
Au
can work that
naturel
out.
like this.
Yes, sir.
Except I don't have any tasting spoons or anything up here. Oh, I got a couple spoons. People can taste that.
Yes, sir.
And we've
All
made
right.
some
Anybody
sliders.
want to take a stab at some Cuban pulled pork? I know, not the same people that got that kind of deal this is. All right. That's
So
DNA for effort. Take a
So
spoon
here,
and take a taste.
we
I'll
have
bring that over to somebody else.
Cuban
Keep the
pulled
spoon.
pork. Now we're going to take the Cuban pulled pork and make barbecued pulled pork out of
Yes,
it. Okay, we're going to take this, put it in this pan.
Good bit.
You see how easy this is. And now
All right.
we're
You
going
wanna
to
take a
take
stab?
some
Hang on to it.
sweet heat barbecue sauce. And I thought I had some open, yep.
All right. If you don't mind using your fingers, you're welcome to grab a piece. All right. Y'all wanted to try something?
We'll pour some barbecue sauce in there, and we'll mix it up.
Go ahead. Go ahead. All right. Anyone else want to take a stab
tell you
at
what
this?
else you can do with this, with the barbecue. You can buy those little taco shells, like little taco boats,
There we go.
and put this right on the
Give it a
inside of the
taste.
taco boat,
Well, yeah, we're out.
and it's fantastic. And make a pulled pork taco salad out of it. Really, it's really, really good. So, we've got that done. Let me ask Chef Dana, do we have any forks or anything? I guess I don't see her down there. Hey, Dana, do we have any forks? Forks, plastic forks or spoons? Can I get 4 or 5? So I'm going to give this to you too, Scott.
Yes, sir.
With 4 or 5 spoons, and we'll let you taste that. Who tasted the Cuban pulled pork? How is it? Okay, now you're going to taste the barbecue pulled pork. Perfect, thank you.
All right.
Sorry to put you to work.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you, Chef.
Now, the juices in here, you don't want to throw it away. When I did the pulled pork for serving all the sliders we're going to serve you, I actually poured some of this back in there. You can strain this, get the oil off of it, put it in the freezer, bag it, put it in the freezer. Or what I like to do is I'll take an ice cube tray and put it in an ice cube tray
There we go.
and
Good.
put it in the
Very good.
freezer.
Nicely done.
That way, if you need some au jus or something for roast beef,
You can use your finger for
just take a cube out
Texas, for God's sake.
and use it. If you're making a soup and you want to flavor it,
Nicely done.
use it.
Thank you.
Like a good minestrone soup or a beef stew or a pork, anything like that. So you got your own natural gravy. So make it real, real easy for you. Okay,
All right, folks. Here we go. Let me try
So
to get
what
the
have we
spoon in
done?
there inside. Grab a spoon.
I showed you how to do
Sample.
the pork in a crock pot, and
All right, that's fine.
don't think that it will taste any less as good as one that you put on the smoker. Who tasted the barbecue pulled pork?
Yes, sir.
How did that taste? Would it
Go ahead. Yeah, use your fingers. We're not high
does
up
it
there.
taste any different than what you might get off of a smoker, other than being more
Use your
moist?
fingers, use a spoon, whatever.
How was it? Good? Okay. So now we want to build our sliders. And we're going to build 3 of them. We'll build some that has a little barbecue sauce on it,
Go ahead.
and some that are Cuban.
Smell wonderful. Sure. There you go, you all.
I got little slider buns here, and we'll take a little bit of this pork,
Right ahead. I didn't see a thing.
set it on top.
Thank you, folks. Anyone else? Anyone else want to try the barbecue? The barbecue stuff. You want that? Of course, of course.
And you can make these ahead. Keep them warm in the oven if you're having a party, or let people build their own.
I believe it. Here we go.
Then we're going to take a little bit of caramelized onion.
Yes, sir.
You can see the onion here. Nice and caramelized. We got 3 of them here. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then we're going to take and put some candied jalapenos on it. I like using the candied jalapenos. You can use pickles. You can use slaw. I do a jicama slaw sometimes and put on top there to give it a little bit of crunch. But you want something to give it a little bit of crunch. So we'll put a couple candied jalapenos on there. Like that. And then we will just drizzle the top a little bit with a little bit of juice. And voila, we have Cuban pulled pork sliders. Serve those with some French fries or tater tots or something, and this is what we have. Can we see that? Do I need to quit moving around? Okay. Cool. So that shows you how easy it, 30, 35 minutes, and you've got a meal prepared. You're out shopping while this is cooking and doing other things. You don't have to tend to a smoker with all the wood and fire and stuff. You can do this recipe not only with pork, do it with brisket. You can do it with chicken. Chicken and tomatilla salsa is outstanding. You can have a shredded chicken, Mexican chicken with it on that. Okay? Any questions about anything?
Folks, if you would grab your cell phone and you can text Peter Mollett, Peter, Peter, Mollett, to 44222, and you will be entered to get a personal cooking class with Chef Peter Mollett in your kitchen,
Yep,
I hear.
for 6 people, I think it is.
For 6 folks, you and 5 of your friends can get a personalized individual cooking class with Chef Peter Mollett. Text his name to 44222, and you can be entered to win that. That's a bargain at any price, Chef. That's fantastic. How about a big hand one more time for Chef Peter Mollett? We'll
Thank
have
you.
samples of the sliders in full over at the sampling table in a couple of minutes. Thanks, everybody.